Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with two glasses for lenses. How are you guys today?
We are doing very well and so happy to be here,
Good.
Kathy.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having us.
Anytime. Okay, could you please tell everybody why you're here?
So let's just start with our names. So I am Foxy Squire. I work as an accountant and I am married. And I'm a big fan of verticals. And in the course of time, after working with her wonderful husband, we reconnected and met and have been friends. We've been doing a like work together thing on Thursdays. Um, and we'll start there. And this is my partner.
Yeah.
So I'm Ilinca, and I'm a director of brand and performance marketing. I reconnected with Foxy recently, and I work remote. And we were like, "Hey, let's do a collab, a co-working day on Thursdays." And we
Yeah.
were like, "That's great." And I also watch Verticals,
Yes.
and
But we
I
did not know it. We weren't
we
watching them
didn't.
together. We were watching them
Yeah.
separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm also a mom, so I have a 22-month-old. And so we're juggling all this and our Thursday rendezvous.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, that's exactly how it started.
So, do you want to tell people what you're actually doing?
So what happened? What we actually do is we have now produced our first vertical after what is a very kind of crazy story.
Mm.
So I was watching verticals by myself, laughing, enjoying. I actually started in with the C dramas and doing a lot of and K dramas, and then I moved over to verticals on multiple Sundays. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this like 2 3 hour long whatever. Oh, and I let myself get wrapped in the story and giggle and all that stuff. And after a while, I was like, I wonder if there's other people who do this. So I started asking around because I'm nosy like that. And somewhere in here, I was like, hey, have you heard of this one thing called verticals? I was like, it's kind of weird. And she's like, oh my gosh, you too. And we started like
It was so fun.
talking about all the different lines the little fun lines, different actors we had seen, just different little things. And her husband did not know that we were
No, I had
watching
no
these.
idea.
So we started acting them out just so that he could understand. And he was like, what's going on right now?
We're like, here, watch this clip. This is what it is. And then like
Yeah.
Foxy and I are in like our living room, and we're
Yeah.
like reenacting
Yes.
like our
Yeah.
favorite parts from different verticals. And then we look at each other and we're like, I think we get, we should write a script.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Because
we
we were well, but on top of that, we also talked about the things that we wanted to start
yes,
seeing in verticals because we were like, oh,
Mm.
there was more diversity.
diversity.
I wish that
Yes.
they,
Yeah.
did a better story of putting an LGBT story out there without making it seem like it's
Obvious.
so obvious or a
Yeah.
little bit of a spectacle. Because it's a very love stories are love stories, and we were like, oh,
Absolutely.
that would be so cool and so awesome.
Or different backgrounds,
Hmm.
right? Or different skin tones, and
Yeah,
all combined in a way that isn't like, oh, and this is your lane right here.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we are like, let's play with a script. So we started writing a script.
Oh no, that night. So once we figured out we wanted to do it, I started researching because that's what I do
Oh
most.
yes.
Yeah,
That's very
Well, no,
important.
yeah.
didn't we like write down a couple of notes
We
that night?
wrote down like
Yeah.
very small ideas because we both were fans of the werewolf stories, and we're like, oh, okay, that might work. Maybe that'll work. That
Yes.
night I went home and I started researching how do you write a vertical script because it's not like a normal script. And as I'm researching, what pops up is the real short contest. There's a vertical contest, and I send it to her, and I was like, "Do you maybe want to try and do this?" And
Well,
she,
on the other side of this, right? So, like I mentioned, my child, it means that I'm not sleeping very well. So, anyway, and so my
I
mornings
feel
are a
that.
little
yeah,
right. So I like pick up my phone the next morning. It's like 7:20, and
yeah.
I have literally like 10
Oh, oh my
messages.
gosh, I did so much research, and there's
And
bunches and
I'm
bunches of
like,
articles.
what is going on? I'm like, okay. And then it ends with, we should enter this contest. And I'm like,
Yes,
so I call her,
yes.
and I'm like, wait, what is happening? And
Good.
and
I
she
explained the whole thing.
and she explains the whole thing. And I'm like, this is too serendipitous
So she
to.
asked me, "Did you actually know about this
Yes, I did.
before you talked about it?" I had no idea until
No.
after we spoke. Like, so we had no plans of entering any contests. We had no plans of we were going to make a vertical as this fun. amorphous thing, but we, hadn't made like, okay, we're going to enter it here and here. And so now we decided on a goal. Like,
Yeah.
An opportunity arose that you had to jump on.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I
Absolutely.
think the next that day you came over,
Yeah.
and we spent like, I think after work, so from 6 to probably like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
3 a.m.
something like that. 3, 4.
we were just writing, but it was such a fun process. I cannot stress enough how much fun it was to like share our ideas and go off each other with like,
Yeah.
oh, and this should happen
Yeah.
here, oh, and it would be
Yeah.
so cool. And so it sparked this very fun creative process for us, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
what kept us going, because again we have
We have-
really busy
yeah,
lives.
We do. We
Yeah.
do.
So it has to be fun at the
Yes.
same time.
And it was also cool because we had, as we were collaborating for all of this, especially with the script portion, we wanted to go ahead and keep some of the tropes that
Yeah.
fans have gotten used to, because we love them. We
Yes.
love these, like, we love these like funny moments. We love the like hokey moments
Well,
as much as we love the story, and
Yeah.
still like branch it out. Because one of the things, even as we were researching for this, and looking at other werewolf stories and what they were doing, we noticed that a lot of times when the packs were getting represented, it was all one type of skin tone, and we're like, why wouldn't
Yeah.
there be a mix at this point? Like, we're in some of these are supposed to be kind of up to date. Like, these people aren't long ago; they're 2025. Why wouldn't
Absolutely. Yeah.
like, we know each other? Why wouldn't other people know each other?
And
Yeah.
also the other fun part was, so when we were writing this and we're like, okay, how do we incorporate this in a fun way? We also wanted to be true to those initial elements of verticals that you see in the verticals that clearly didn't have a lot of budget. In the
Yeah.
beginning, there were these moments that were like, oh, you threw a little bit of water and you didn't even break the glass, right? Because you still needed the glass afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and those elements were the fun part. Like, how
Yeah.
can you tell a
Yeah.
story? It's not just like, oh, it was on a budget, but it was like
Mm.
unassuming, and they were fun, they were easy, and it was like this kind of little corner of the internet that you could go into and not take it very seriously. And I
Yeah.
think we wanted to convey that, like, the
Mm.
story can be serious, but you don't have to take every element super seriously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Verticals is it's supposed to be a bit of escapism,
Yeah.
and we were like, let's embrace that.
Yeah.
Like, let's embrace that escapism that we've seen and we've enjoyed and watched other fans enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
why not? Because, like, not to say that there's not a fantastic place, like Ilinca was saying, for these serious topics. It's that, but we are trying to encapsulate that like ridiculous fun escapism moment.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. They don't all have to be very serious. I mean, like you said, there's definitely room for that seriousness, but a lot of people I spoke to have always said, but you have to make it fun. It has to be fun.
Absolutely.
You can't take it too seriously. Otherwise,
Yes.
not that it's not serious and that you don't, take your job seriously. It's just it has to be fun too. So
Absolutely.
I
I
get
think
that.
because we, with our collaboration, as we said, we had such a great back and forth, but we also realized that we just worked well together.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that I know there are directors who like work, script writers and directors who are like, I do this. And I'm like, that's great. We need each other to move forward, because if there's something that like one of us doesn't have time for, then the other one just is like, oh, I'll scoop that up, no problem. And as we talk more, we'll talk about, as we talk about the process, you'll hear, oh, this, like one of us did one part a little more and the other person did the other part a little more. And it's not because we didn't want to support. It's more of like, this seemed like something you were vibing with, so I'm gonna support that vibe. So there's plenty of times I was playing with her with her little one while she's doing something, or she'll like call me and be like, I took care of blah blah. I'm like, oh great, and I'm out with my husband for
Playing to
anniversary.
each other's strengths is very important. And chemistry and trust is also another massive thing in this. So and obviously you guys have that, so that's also very important. So Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm going to ask you a question now.
Yes.
What inspired the creation of this vertical, which you've kind of already answered, but did you want to elaborate on that?
I think aside from what we've already said, which is the diversity and wanting to have a different story, the other part was that this we wanted something that was also women focused. We love the alpha stories.
Yes.
We love
Yeah.
them. But when I'm seeing Luna stories a lot of times, the Luna has been through this trial.
Mhm.
It's the worst ever, and she is not always highlighted in the way of like I'm this vulnerable thing. She's like I've got to be this, and we
Mm.
really wanted to start off with a Luna who had a backstory that was a little tougher to deal with, and how she was overcoming that, and then had to be vulnerable all over again. And that's a big part of our
Mm.
story. Is like she has to now be vulnerable and be in charge at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the many like themes that fans are resonating with because we've
Yeah.
gotten some fantastic comments of like, when's the next one? And we're like, whoa, okay, hold on. So yeah, I think that's
That's
one.
a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Yeah,
Yes. And we definitely wanted to also make sure that like with the werewolf stories, there's kind of like this lack of like I don't see a Luna in charge of a pack.
Right. There's like two that I've
Yeah,
seen. Yeah,
yeah. So we
It's
wanted to
rare.
lean
Yeah.
we wanted to lean into that as that's normal. So you can
yeah,
have an alpha and a Luna, and that's
yeah,
kind of the way it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love that. Girl power. I even some of the actresses that I've spoke to, they want a lot more female-led
Yeah, yeah,
storylines because we're great too, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. What led you towards a werewolf storyline more than anything else?
So, you had already watched a bunch of the billionaire ones, which I
Yes.
did try and get into. I'm not. It was hard.
Yeah.
I love
I
werewolves.
I love the werewolf. Okay, so when I had my selection, because once you start watching a vertical, you now once you open that Pandora's box, you have a selection of anything. You can watch high school
Mhm.
stuff. There's different like
Yeah.
water ones, firefighters, air. Just I personally was gravitating towards the werewolf ones, and she was
Yeah. And I'm like, I love werewolves. So yeah,
Yeah.
so.
absolutely.
And even the ones we were acting out for her husband were the werewolf stories.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
we just were like, this is the one. Like, if we
Yeah.
know it this well, like as we were quoting lines,
Right.
reenacting stuff, we're like, this is the one that we should start with because we know it like
Right.
the back of our hand to the point that we are from memory. We didn't pull up anything. We were just like, oh, that one scene because
Yeah.
like we've seen a lot of Cayman.
Yeah.
That one scene where he's like, we just loved it. We loved it so much.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's also it feels very natural to me. I'm originally Romanian, so
Mhm.
vampire werewolves. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna lean
Yeah.
into.
Why
yeah,
not? The good
the
thing
world
about
so
writing your own also is you can pull parts from all the different genres that you actually like and
yeah.
turn it into one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because we that was another thing is that because we enjoyed it so much, that was the point of inspiration was like, oh, we need to have like when we do the mate bond, we want to look like this because specifically because we've watched so many of the
Yes.
different werewolves. We're like, we know what the mate bond is supposed to look like and what will
Yeah.
resonate, but then we could add twists of things. Like when we were writing the story, we were able to add in extra pieces that were like, man, we would have loved to see a storyline with this. Well, let's make it.
Yeah.
Yes, and we do have, without giving any spoilers. So when we say we wrote a script, we wrote like 100 episodes.
About 100 episodes. There's 5 up.
Wow.
So yeah, and there's only 5 up.
Yeah.
But the story, as it unfolds, it has a richer universe, and
Yeah.
it incorporates additional
Faye.
depictions. Yeah,
Yeah.
additional depictions of different um, peoples that
Yeah.
we were thinking would be very nice to have in the universe.
And that was also we started with werewolves because it's something that a lot of fans know. Like there's a big genre
Mhm.
for it, but we have plans in our head and in the universe we build to look at other aspects, to look at other like beyond vampires into mermaids, into going back to werewolves, and just all these different places, like we decided on certain aspects of the other creatures that would be there, because we were like, oh, that would be cool if they did this, because we have plans of other things. So yeah, werewolves just the first place to start because we had it right in the tip of our tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many ideas. Like
Yeah.
the world is all out there. And I mean, look, the ones that I've seen, mainly with the bigger apps, they've gravitated towards what works. But the things that you guys have, which a lot of the big ones are too, I don't want to say scared, but like don't want to go to now, is different storylines because they know what works for them.
Yeah.
But for new people writing scripts, the world is your oyster. You can try anything and see how it goes.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two people who were doing it for just the fun and love of verticals. It was
Yeah.
like there was no, oh, we have to hit this. And there's a world for a director who is going to hit all of these things, or like, oh, the studio has said this. But when it's two people who wrote their own script and are and do their own thing, we're like, okay, well, let's add this in. This looks great. Yeah, let's add that. We should have this line in.
Let's see how it works.
Yeah.
Let's see how it feels. Yeah. And there was a lot of that.
Yeah, because, and on top of that, we weren't. I think the other thing is, yes, we were entering the contest. We were entering the contest without thought process of like, oh, how's it going to? We were like, we as fans are happy with what we put out here, and we would want to watch this, and that was our own motivation to start out.
Our motivation was, would I like this?
Yeah.
Would I want to see another episode?
Yes.
And if the answer was yes, then we did great.
Yeah.
Look, I one of my questions for a lot of the actors is, if they could star in a vertical that was their perfect storyline, what would it be? And a few of them have said, exactly what they want. And the other people have said, well, we're kind of writing a script, but it's more towards what would work now rather than what they really want.
Yeah.
But they had an idea of both, So it's a balance, I think. But I love that you just did exactly what you wanted and put it out there, and that's amazing. I do love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. What early indicators of success are you hoping for?
Well, we've already had so we put this was the crazy part. So we finished the vertical and we were like,
in time. In time.
That's important. Oh yeah. In time.
That's important.
Because it was a sprint. It was a sprint to try and do it, even with, we were like, and we just didn't have a good estimation of like some of our production. We can get into that later. But so once we got to that, like, we're going to put this in this day, we were giving ourselves a deadline. We're like, at this point, we're done. We're calling it. We're putting it in. We're submitting it. And she calls. She's like, okay, I think everything's ready. I'm like, all right. We're like trying to get the poster together. So like, because I had already made a pre-prep of the poster. We put that in. No problem. In less than 24 hours, we had, I think it was 5,000 views.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we had about 5,000 views. We were up. I mean, there was no leaderboard at that moment. So we were like, wait, what's happening? Well, there's other, I had been following all the things that had been submitted. And I had seen, there's some people who they hadn't looked at anything yet. I saw one submission that was a very intense one episode that I was like, it was just intense in the sense of like, the story was fine, but the action that was in there was a few just very not fun moments in there, I'm gonna say. And I was surprised it went up, and it was up for 2 days, and then it got pulled down, and it got right pulled. Yeah, I'm sure they weren't having that. So I had been following it along. So I'm seeing ours suddenly get all these numbers. Just the numbers are going the number of views, the number of saves, the number of blah blah. And so then when the so once we hit the leaderboard, because after the 27th was the close of submissions, we suddenly see, like, for romance, we're number 15.
And we're like, wow.
We're like, wait, wow. And it's
been a week.
It's been, and that point had been 1 week. Yeah. So we went out and celebrated, I think after the 48-hour, just about before the 48-hour mark. Yeah. So we went out and saw a movie together. We grabbed drinks and went out to a movie to just celebrate. Like, we finished it, and it seems to be doing okay. Now, like I said, it's number 15 in romance. I think we're in the top 20 for suspense. Maybe top 20. Yeah, we're in top 20 for suspense, and we're in like, we're in top 30 for overall. And we were like, and we're up against things that we see the big budgets
and everything,
huge crews, all that stuff. And we're just like, wait a second. So we are now encouraging as many people as possible to go and check it out because we really enjoy it, number one, but also because we're like, let's try and hit top 10 for romance. Like,
Right.
why
We
not?
would love
Let's
that.
go for that. So that's our measure right now. As far as in the future, we really want to build a solid following
Yes.
so that we can
Do
really,
more.
yeah, flesh out our universe because we have so much more story, not just for this particular storyline, but for all of them. Because we have bits and pieces and ready to go. Because we were like, as we were writing this one, we're like, ooh, when we
Wouldn't
write
it
the
be
other
great?
story,
Yeah,
we should
exactly.
add this in so that like, and we have a couple of like a larger scale scene where we introduce these newer characters so that when we write for the next one, it'll build. Not that you have to watch the other ones, but very much in the vein of like, if you want to just watch like a bunch of them back to back and all in the same universe, you could do it. Like that's our end kind of goal, because that was also something that we wanted to see more of, was like
Yes.
a universe built, because there's so much vertical. We're like, why are there no repeating universes? There's great, they're great on repeating like a lot of these stories and repeating in the sense of like building onto a pre-existing storyline, but where's the bigger universe? Because these things exist somewhere.
Yeah.
So what's everybody else doing? Like, it's very much in the vein of Lower Decks. Like when you look at, the Lower Decks was another section of that universe that they went on, and I was like, this is great. I want to see more of everything.
Yeah, I think that when we thought out our universe was basically, okay, if you were to have a flashlight, right? Because we only had a flashlight to produce it. So if you had a flashlight, which areas of this universe are we shining the flashlight on now? But at the same time, there's like a big room, right? With like, there's a big universe that has all these other areas that are equally or more interesting. We chose to lean into this story for a variety of reasons, including the fact that we knew we were gonna be the ones filming and acting and producing and everything. And so we needed that story to match what resources we had, and to bring it forward.
And I think aside from being in top 10, just the fact that we have so many people viewing, because now we're at 22.
Yes, I think
22K in our views. We're so excited that people are vibing with what's there and want to watch it. And I feel like we also want to hear from, like, we have people who have sent us stuff like, hey, when are we going to get another episode, like we were telling you before? But it's so, we're like, or they'll tell us, hey, you know what, I didn't really think this was the perfect thing, but I really love the story, and we're like, okay, we can work on that. That's some editing, or that's some production right there. That's easy. If you love the story, that's awesome. Like, so I think our metric is not just the top 10, but also watching the views go up. So looking at those views, seeing more people watch it, it has been just like warming our heart. We're gonna try and do a little, like, we're hoping that also for 30K views and have another celebration.
Yes.
All the celebrations. Well, I just want to say that no matter the outcome, you two should be incredibly proud of what you've created.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's so unbelievable in a way, because again, you write a story with a friend, you have fun. The actual filming of our shooting days, that was hilarious too.
Oh my gosh,
the costumes, all the costumes are us. We were up at like night, we brought stuff from each other's closets. We're rummaging through through my jewelry,
and then
steaming.
Then we had to fit everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you have more questions about that, and we're happy to get into it. It was a great process. And it's interesting also because, as you're talking about metrics, I feel like since we don't have a studio behind us, we are our metrics. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. Great. And there were multiple times I would tell her, she'd be like, okay, I'm gonna stay up tonight, I'm gonna do. I was like, is that fun? She's like, well, I mean, I was like, okay, if it's not fun, we're not doing it. We are going,
put it away.
We're not, because like there was more stuff we could do. There's more editing we could do. There's more, and I was just like, we have to remember that this is our fun moment, and if it's not bringing us joy and fun, then we are now working, and we have jobs. We do not need we have jobs. This is our fun. And she's like, oh yeah, you're right. No, I won't do that. And I'm like, okay, good.
No, you were so great. Like, keep it. There was one instance when I was editing, and I'm like, I'm trying to do this thing, and it's not coming out the way like I have it in my head. And she's sitting next to me and she's watching me and she's watching me and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I can't get, I don't know what it was. The blue light to go somewhere."
Yeah.
And Foxy's like, and I'm like, "Well, it's just not realistic." And we both start laughing hysterically.
She's like, "It just doesn't. I don't. It's not real." And I was like, "Tell me again about real in the middle of a mate bond happening between two werewolves. Tell me about this realism." She's like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I'm like, "Yes, that's right. Like, just remember we're here." And she's like, "Okay, I'm here. I got it. Yes, yes.
No, I love that. See, that's the fun. I love that there's so much fun in this, which is awesome. I love that. Okay. How did you decide the cast for the roles that are in your vertical?
So after we wrote this like script and put all our lines and stuff in and all the things we wanted, we then were like, okay, we had thought like, so we were thinking about this for a while and we are like, oh, maybe we'll cast this person. And then we realized we looked at what would be our timeline and we're like, we really have to like,
well, we don't have
that kind of time to like find a bunch of people. Well, she had a friend who,
a coworker that actually fit one of the characters. Beta. Quite well. So we're like, so I called him up. And I said, okay, so we're doing this project. The filming is coming this weekend.
Well, first we had to explain what a vertical is. This was our conversation with any actor.
I don't think he understood.
Yeah, I don't think nobody really understood the way we did. And we were like,
it's okay, we'll guide you.
We'll guide you through.
Yeah.
And so we had him, and then we're like, well, we need one more person. So my husband, we're like,
got drafted. He didn't get asked. He got drafted.
He was told, okay, and this is who you are. Aren't you excited?
Casting on hand very much like who, and I didn't. So on top of all of this, we're talking, and she goes, "Oh, you should be Josephine," which is our lead. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I just said, "Oh, okay," and started and just like kept going with the other stuff we were doing because we also had to pull costumes and get all of our set, our props, everything like that. Suddenly, over the weekend, I realized I'm the lead, and I'm looking and realize I'm in almost every episode except one, and I've got lines in every episode. I've got to interact in every episode. I've done like one stage play. I haven't done a lot of stage play since I was in high school. I was like, oh my gosh. So then I, of course, went to research. So I'm researching away. And that's how I started watching a lot of interviews with different, and that's how I actually found you as well, was that I started watching all these interviews with different actors saying, this is what I do. This is what I like. This is what, to try and make sure that I was giving 1000%. Like, I'm not a trained actor by any means, but I was like, I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm going to work really hard. So I memorized all of my lines to make sure that I was like, I can just throw them out. I ran lines during the actual production part with everyone.
Coached. She also was our acting coach on scene.
Yeah.
She was coaching everyone else.
Yeah, because I researched a bunch of stuff. So it was, when it came to casting, it was availability was the biggest thing, but then also just a belief in the person. Like, we didn't need you to believe in us. We need you to believe in you to be as much of yourself as possible, because I can guide you through the rest of it. I just need you confident in your words and confident in what you're saying, as a human being, so that we can move forward all together. And we got that. Like, her husband, I've known him for a long time, and he was Maxwell. So there's this scene where we're supposed to be angry at each other, but we're so goofy around each other. So it was a little difficult.
I think I reshot that scene like
so many times, because we would start laughing. We would start and she's like, you have to be angry. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm angry, got it. And then I'd start out angry, and then he'd do something or say something, and I'm like, ah. So
that's when you've got to reach really into that acting.
Exactly.
Yes.
We got it. Yeah,
so,
we definitely got
it. She's our star actor. And then I was behind the camera because I really wanted to.
After the first scene.
Yeah. Which I really wanted to be behind the camera, because there's these like beautiful stills that I thought they were beautiful.
Oh no, they were great. I used one of them as our poster. Our poster is a still from something she shot that I was like, this is exactly. We did not use that because especially since our cast was all people who were like, hey, we can do this for you, no problem. So we didn't use any faces. And I told her, I was like, I don't want to use anyone's face because this is about the story. In order for someone to learn more about what they're seeing on this poster, they need to dig in.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
because to keep driving that focus on our story, like our story is really where this is the fun and interesting parts. The acting and all the rest of it definitely pays homage to those original first off. Oh,
It was
what did you
Yeah.
do?
it was also hilarious. So the hardest episode to shoot was the one where we were both in it,
Yes.
because I had like little tape and marks where I wanted the cameras to be, and I had
Mhm.
like a little monitor to see kind of what the cameras were seeing, the camera, because we only had one phone because her phone was another version, and so we couldn't.
We didn't want to.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
so as we're like setting like the scene, and we are getting in our places, of course Dirk, my little one, comes over, looks at the tripod, and like just picks it up and like moves it. And I was like, well, I guess that's also an angle,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Creative
He-
angles.
There's a couple of shots of him like he took a nap there. Like he was definitely
Yeah, he was on a
just
poof taking a nap.
he was definitely the star of the like production day. Both
Yes.
production days, Dirk was the star.
Yes.
I was just there acting on the film part, but behind scenes,
Yeah,
he
it's
was running the
Dirk.
show.
Yes.
He was running the show. It was bubble time. It was
Yeah.
snack time. It was also
Yeah,
stuff.
his schedule
Love that.
essentially were our mandated breaks.
Yes.
When Dirk had snack time, we had
We had
snack
snack
time.
time. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And it was-
it's
for nap
forced
time.
breaks.
Not that we took a break specifically so that we could eat and we could get Dirk relaxed
Yeah.
for nap time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he's the best star in this to say, hey, it's break time. You need it now. I'm
Yeah.
not going to give you a choice. So go
Yeah.
do your break.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I know that in these verticals, they can work 12-hour days,
Yes.
15
Yes.
sometimes, and they get 30-minute break for lunch.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
about
it.
this. Yeah.
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 So, I mean, I love that he forced you to take more breaks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And his like we had to be done. This was the other thing. We had to be done by 6 because 7:30 is when we are doing nap, like bedtime
Sleep time,
routine.
yeah.
So no matter what, we only had so much time, and I
Yeah.
think that was good. It kept
Yeah.
us. It kept us on track.
Well, it
Mm.
also stretched us into, as you're talking about casting, it stretched us into 2 production days. So we were like, oh, we're
Oh,
gonna
we
shoot
got
this all
this.
on one day.
Oh my God.
We'll be fine. Not thinking about we have to pull props, we have to set up. We weren't thinking about any of that. We were like, oh, we'll do this all in one day. Makeup, get everyone into costume, out of costume, and we had to, because our the Alpha Alpha Maxwell was here, so we could fit him anytime.
Yeah.
Our Beta Caleb was not, and so when he came on set was when we first had him try on stuff, so we have to adjust things.
And so
Mhm.
I don't know how. So there's this beautiful purple jacket that Caleb is wearing, except it's like he's swimming in it, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's my jacket, and you can see from the pictures and stuff he was a little shorter than me.
So now we have to adjust it, and so I don't even know why we had like wood clips.
Yeah, I brought them. That's why.
Oh, okay. So we had wood clips, and so we have this like ginormous wood clip, like on his side, that has like red handles.
Yeah,
and at the time, bright red handles. At the time, I don't know why. I guess we were everything that was like out of sorts. We're like, we'll fix it in post.
We'll get to that. We can totally
get to that.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. This is not a problem.
Not a problem. No.
Well, when I got to post, it is a problem.
Yeah.
Because in order to like create a blur that isn't weird and then is dynamic and it's moving with the flow of the actual like beautiful, jacket, it's actually a problem.
Yeah.
So we've learned a lot.
Yes, we definitely learned a lot. And even when it comes to it was funny because I don't know if I've even told you this. So speaking of wardrobe, so I'm wearing this like low cut dress. It's my dress and I like the dress. I'm comfortable in it. So we put up our trailer. Suddenly I'm noticing that the trailer has this like red mark on it when I put it up on, I think it was either on TikTok. And I'm like, what's
Oh,
going on? I click on it and they're like, oh, this trailer has been flagged for 18 and up because of nudity and sex. You've seen our vertical there. I was like, there is nothing. The handhold, there's no kissing. The handhold
yeah.
is like most affection. And I was like, what are these people talking about? And I was like, oh, because it's so low cut,
Yeah.
they just assumed, like, because of course it's some sort of AI, just assumed there was
Yeah.
a problem. So I did go ahead and petition to them, and I was like, hey, can you take another look at this? And they're like, no, you're completely right. Your trailer's fine. We've taken that
Yeah.
restriction off, blah, blah. But that was like,
That was fine.
oh, I didn't.
Mm.
My husband's
Oh,
and my husband's like, I mean, I understand. He's like, I mean, I'm happy with it. I understand. And I was like, thanks, babe.
but
Thank
it's
you.
a beautiful dress, and
It is.
yeah, I loved it. I loved every part of it. Our costumes, I loved how they came together,
Yeah.
and even the fact that we didn't have a lot of time
Mm,
to shoot it. It meant that there's a lot. We did a lot of takes for some of these,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it also meant that we were really having fun. I
Yeah.
mean, there was no moment
Yeah.
where like, oh, we have to do this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we came back for our second production day, we were just like, okay, we know exactly what we need to set up. We know where we need to go.
Yeah.
Because it took us, I think we got episode 1 shot, like the first room was shot, and then when we finished
Yeah.
with all everything we needed to do in that room, we looked at each other and I was like, we don't have time.
Yeah, because
We don't have time to finish anything
episode
else.
3 and 4 were also going to be
Yeah.
intense, and then
Yeah.
so the no 4 and 5, and episode
Yeah.
3 needed a lot
A
of
lot of
setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
just like, we have to come back.
Yeah.
And that, like, luckily our cast, well, like I said, her husband was drafted, so he was gonna do it anyway. But our Beta Caleb was able to come back for a second day, and we worked around his schedule, so it was great. But it was definitely one of those like, okay, next time if we want to do this,
Yes.
and even paying attention to the length of the episode, we shot like a 5-minute episode for each section we were in, and then we were rereading the rules, and we're like, we have 1:30. Okay, we have to cut
Yeah.
this down. We got to cut that down. We got to pull that out.
Yeah.
It still worked. It was fine, and we still kept all our script, but it was just one of those like,
Yeah.
ooh, okay.
Mm.
But
It's a learning process, absolutely a
it's
learning process.
learning
So next
process.
time you make one, you're going to walk in and go, oh, okay, so I know the rules now.
Yes.
We've done
Yes.
this before. I know what to do now. Like, this is how much time we're going to need for this. And, if you've got certain different parts of the house, you could do pre-setup in different
Yeah.
areas before
Yes.
starting, which will
Yes.
save time.
Well, we
Yeah.
also the where we shot was like we didn't have access to it like 24/7.
Mm.
So we actually it was more of a okay, so you have like an hour in this space. You have to
Yeah.
go in and put everything back. That
Yeah.
was also very challenging.
Yeah. And also it
Yes.
was a matter of we had to scout. We scouted that the first day of production. We scouted was when we were scouting, when we were picking our props, and so once we had all of that done, that was like that was most of the morning because we
Mm.
had what was our call 7, 8, something like that.
It
We
was
got in there
Dirk's time, like 8:30.
8:30. Yeah, I think our call time was about 8:30, and so we got there with no problems. But because we had not put in time for picking all these other things that we needed, we were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we've lost most of the daylight." Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah. But this is all things you're going to know next time.
Yes,
This was
absolutely.
your first one, so it's all
Yeah,
going to go up in the air, really. And you're going to be
exactly.
like, okay, so, this didn't work out exactly how I want it to go this time, but next time I will
Yeah,
account for that. And
yeah,
things still might not go perfectly,
yeah,
but at
Oh yeah.
least you accounted and you tried to make it work, you
yeah.
know. Yeah.
I think that's also the fun. As you were
It
telling
was fun.
telling us about the like how the actors could not have breaks and some of these other things. It's one of those things of because we have so much fun doing it, and it was the two of us, we were able to be very flexible with the schedule. And I know if in the future we do something that does have more money or studio, I think that's also the like conversation that needs to be had at that level of like we need to make this day 8 hours or 10 hours because I've worked film production, so even though I do accounting, it's production accounting for the arts. So I've been there when I've seen like actors come in and they've had a 12-hour day and they're exhausted, and I'm like, I just know that's not going to be helpful for anybody. Like I know you're
Mm.
and you're getting what you, I think you're getting what you need. But if you just could give a little more time, a little snack,
Yeah.
like where, crafting's great, but if it's on the other side of the set, what's, like, what, you're not
Yeah.
helping everything. And I know that's something that can't
And
always be like, thought
yeah,
of.
I mean, I used to produce events,
Mm.
large scale events, like
Mhm.
concerts and things like that. And it's the same thing. Like if you can't give people like snacks or a little break, or it goes such a long way when you
Yeah.
have like long hours.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like you just can't take you can't take things too seriously. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
important part.
Absolutely.
A lot of people I speak to say that time, they wish they just had that little bit of extra time, like you were saying. You know, sometimes they only get, like they said it's rare, but sometimes they get one take, just one,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just amazing if they were able to nail that in the first take. But
Yeah.
sometimes the director will get it and they'd be like, oh, but I could have done it better, but there just isn't time.
Yeah.
So sometimes they would like it just to have maybe 3 or 4 goes.
Yeah.
But again, time. So I think, with you guys allowing that extra time at the moment is a really good thing because that's what people want. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can't have it as like, these other massive productions where they take, a month or two to film an entire thing or just a few scenes even. Obviously you need to like keep it to constraint of like a timeline of a vertical. But a
Yeah.
couple of extra days for that extra time, if possible, I know would be very appreciated for a lot of actors.
Oh, yeah. That second day that we came in for production,
That was the
it
best
was
day.
it was better than the first day because
Mm.
we already knew what we wanted.
Yeah.
We already picked everything. And even for our next time, we were talking about like our
Yeah.
prep should be very different because we had everything at our place, at our
Mm.
respective places. Like we're going to pull this and do that, but then scouting the location,
Mm.
looking at props and stuff all beforehand would have made our days easier. So
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
we've learned a lot.
we've learned a
We've
lot.
learned a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also know that getting to location is another
Mhm.
big thing for actors. Sometimes they're driving an hour and a half, working a
Yeah.
12-hour day, and then driving an hour and a half home. So
Yeah.
it's not just the working time itself, it's the travel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so scouting location is definitely a major thing.
Yeah.
Um, and as you saw my interview with Sam, the weather is another big
Oh,
thing.
right.
The
Yes. She
weather.
was talking
Yeah.
about the flood. Yes.
Yes, yes.
I remember that. I remember the flooding situation. Yeah,
So,
we did an indoor. I don't know. I mean, there are a few of our characters who we would have to do an outdoor setup,
mm,
but we would really
Yeah.
have to think about weather and think about where for something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I think some of like for a few of ours, we would probably need in the future to do it on location to do it right.
Yeah.
mhm,
But it would be a huge undertaking, and we would need a very big budget to
mhm.
really give it the go that we want to. And
Yeah.
it's not to say that we can't do it on a smaller budget. It's more of like I would want to give some of these like different fake creatures a really good push because we have not seen all of them
Yes.
in
Mhm.
verticals. We've seen werewolves, we've seen vampires, but they can't be the only creatures of Fae in the
Yeah,
universe at
Yeah.
all.
Absolutely.
absolutely. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. How did you keep your creative vision with the constraints like time and budget?
Well, one of the things that we did multiple times was that if one of us had a vision, we would just support it. Like that was
Yeah.
so we were like, oh, do you like you have a vision? You go with that because sometimes I just couldn't see certain things. Like she would be editing something, and I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this. I was like, and I'd either say, oh, if it was something that I was like, okay, well, if you've got a vision, go ahead. Or I'd ask the question of like, can you just explain it a little bit? And then she'd explain it. I'm like, oh, okay. Or even with the poster, like I ended up doing the poster because
Yeah.
I just had inspiration. I
And
did
she
the
had
first
a
draft.
vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
I
I
was
sent
like,
it to
okay,
her.
go.
She's like,
Like,
yeah, go. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
really? She's like, yeah, I like this. And so when it was the final poster, I just updated what I had with the software that we had. But it was,
and even with the costumes, like,
mm,
we got the characters set up, and then I had a vision of like how I wanted, like for Caleb especially, how I
yeah.
wanted him to flow. um, and like Fox was like, yeah, absolutely, like let's do this.
I
And
had a vision for her character.
yes,
And I was like, I want an apron. And she was like, I was like, yeah, you need an apron.
I was
You
like,
need to have, because
okay.
I do sew, and so she's supposed to be a seamstress in the pack. So I was like, oh, you need a pin cushion, and she's like, what? I was like a little cherry, like a tomato pin. Every person I know who sews has a little
Yeah.
tomato pin cushion with pins in it. You've
Yeah.
seen it. Grandma, everyone has had one. You have
Yeah.
that. There's that. That's a staple.
Yeah.
There's the like, what is it, cookie tin that's actually full of all your stuff.
Yes.
There's just a couple things. I was like, once another person who sews sees that, they're gonna be like, ah, you're real. You're a,
Yeah.
and like, I just
It was
knew,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
I knew there were certain things that I wanted her character to portray or have at hand because I knew that would help somebody get engulfed in this world
Mm.
with us. That's the other part is when we talk about that escapism. Yes, it's hokey. Yes, it's fun, but get it like you have your phone, you're looking at it, and you just want to get engulfed in this for like 2 seconds. And so it does pull you out when it's something that's way off base. So yeah, I
Yes.
think having these vision moments where it was like, oh, I see this, and it's like, oh, okay, great. And even I did a lot of our like research and stuff for the PR because I love researching a lot. And so
I need you over here with me.
Yes. No, I
Researching,
can't. I can't.
researching isn't my strong suit, but I try.
uh, I do it, and that's why she said she woke up at 7 is because I get up at 6 and I
Hmm.
start my research. Whatever it is, I'm gonna start researching, and I'm just here you go. And at first,
Oh,
the
I
first
love
time,
that.
like, did I overwhelm you? She's like, no, it's fine. I'll deal with. I'll digest it as I need to. I'm
No,
like,
this is
okay.
great. It's great. Well, because it's so no, it is. It's so amazing because again, I get to like wake up and then I have this entire like before I can have my brain on. It's like the mom brain on, right? I have
Hmm.
to make breakfast. I have to do this, and so after that, I get to like look at my phone and be like almost like a sigh of relief. Like,
Yeah.
yes, these are all the things we needed to do today,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's wonderful. And so yeah, there was a lot of research that came. There were like a lot of collaboration.
yeah.
There wasn't not like not even one moment where we are like, ah, no, this is a standstill here. We were just like
Oh, you
really
need a
in flow.
stalemate.
A stalemate, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a,
Yeah, like we just were in the flow and we kept going
but our
forward.
goal was to finish the vertical, and
Yeah.
so we kept that as our goal every time. So it was like, do if it was something that we felt very strongly about, then the other person would just be like, oh, you really have a vision here, so I'm going to let that vision bloom.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if it got to the point that we were having like, oh well, I think it should be this, I think it should be that, yeah, but it should really be this because of blah blah blah, and like, oh, you've got that, you're running with that,
Yeah.
run with that torch.
Mm.
And it just so happened that like we were fine with that. Like there was no moment that I was like, oh, I wish I could have gone back and changed this thing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, okay, you got that, great. And then I'd be like, let me go do this or go look at this thing.
Well, and even looking at the final episodes, like I got giddy. I
Yeah.
looked at them and like of course you could do so much more, right? You could move this, you could do
Yeah,
that. But
Yeah.
like I was so happy to watch them, and I like when we were like, okay, pencils down,
yeah.
time's up.
Well, she
It was
had,
good.
we have more footage, and so she was
Yes,
like, oh, I could add another two. I was
Mm.
yes,
like,
It's
yes.
we're
done.
not in more.
Yeah.
We're going to go with what we've got, because I was like, this is the story. Like I was like, this is a great starter for a story.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I was like, I know we have more, but this
Yeah.
is, we only need to do one episode, and we have five. Or I think at the time we had four.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had four ready, and then she surprised me with an episode.
Yes.
And she's like, I
Mm.
got one other episode. I just feel like it's really good. I was like, okay, that's your vision.
Yep.
I'm all okay. Great vision in there, and she was super nice because one of the vision things was I love. Okay, I watch
I know what
Great
you're
Pottery
gonna say.
Throwdown, and on Great Pottery I watch it from the UK. In the UK, when they do their subtitles, they color the subtitles. So when someone new is speaking, it's a different color, so that way you can
Oh.
follow along if you're reading. Love that. And I told
Yeah.
her, I was like, when we do our subtitles, we have to color code them. I love that. I was like, this is it. And she's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no. I was like, it's going to make all the difference. I promise. I know it's weird, but I'm telling you, the US just needs to catch up, because
Yeah.
doing this all in one color, it's terrible. The
And I was
different
like,
colors
fine. I was like,
make
fine.
all the difference. And yeah, it did. Like,
But let me tell you that that was a labor of love right
yes.
there.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It is quite the undertaking to go and change these colors, especially as you're editing,
Yeah.
and then you're
Mhm.
moving the subtitles along to
Yeah.
match what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it was an and then
I was
yeah,
glad. I was very glad. And then
I,
on top
I
of that,
add subtitles to all of my interviews, as you've probably seen, because
yes, do
I've
that.
seen a lot of comments on like other people's lives and things like that. They're like, I'm deaf and I can't hear it. Can you,
yes,
can you add subtitles? So I always add the subtitles. But when
Yes.
you generate them, they're AI, so you
Oh yeah.
have to go through and
yeah, you do it
change
manually.
everything. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes,
not easy,
The next layer of
especially.
like color it.
Yeah, especially when like people name off a bunch of people and you're like, I don't know who that is. So like you go in and you have to stop and then you have to research the person and make sure the spelling is correct. And I haven't mastered it. I try my best, but sometimes I miss, one letter and I'm like, people understand it
Absolutely.
still.
I will say we had a lot. The good thing was is that we were working off a script, so
Yes.
most of what was there is that we
yeah,
already had it typed out. There's a few
Yes.
things that, as the other scriptwriter, I added in because I was like, this is going to help move the storyline along if I add this like one line here.
Yeah.
That was not in the original script, but
Mm.
I'm so happy that we were able to be true to our different visions, and we were able to do it specifically because of
yeah,
we will support each other in that vision that you're telling me you have for this for this section, for this portion, whatever it is, and make this come to a reality. Because as we said before, we're fans, so it's like, okay, well,
yeah.
if you want to see it as a fan, other people may want to see it. And we
Mhm.
haven't gotten much feedback on the subtitles, but I know there's times that I'll have it on like I'll be watching a vertical and I'll just have the subtitles on because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to read this a bit because I have to
Mhm.
have something else I'm listening to, but I just want something else on. Or you are somebody who's hard of hearing or something like that, and you should have the privilege to enjoy everything. Nobody,
Yes.
like, why
But
should you be left out?
it makes sense. Like it really does. It does
It
make
does.
sense to
I mean,
have them come.
I watched some series that aren't in my language, like aren't in English.
Yes.
And they do have Young Royals was one of the
Oh,
ones
yes.
that I love Young
Mhm.
Royals. So I'd watch it dubbed first so that I understood what they were saying. For me, that helped me because they actually dubbed it themselves. So it was the characters themselves that did that, which helped because some dubbing I'm just like, ick. But that really
I
helped.
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then when I rewatch it, I already know the storyline, but I really want to watch it again. And we all rewatch what we love. But I'll
Yes.
go
Yeah.
back and I'd watch it in the original language and just
Mm.
read the subtitles. So I agree that subtitles are very important.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was one of the things on the rules that they were like, it's optional. And
Yeah.
I noticed right away that things that don't have subtitles, I don't engage with them as much because I put subtitles on every when I'm watching television, do everything because I do miss things because somebody maybe is talking fast. I don't know if you ever watched like what is it, Snatch, and
Mm.
he goes into Pikey, and I was like, I have no clue
Yes. That.
what that man
Yes.
is saying right
Yes.
now,
I
and
have
without
to
these
research. Actually, I have
subtitles,
to research it.
without
Mm.
those subtitles, I would be lost, and then I'd lose a big chunk of the story because that character is in so much, and we
Mm.
just yeah, I
Yeah.
think
It
we
was.
just
It was good.
yeah,
It
it
was
wasn't
a good
hard to
decision.
hold onto our vision because we had each other to support that vision. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't editing, so when I said this, I knew, hey, I really want these colors in here. I really want this, and she was like, okay, like, but I feel like there were other things like when it came to costuming and stuff like that, like, oh, I really want this thing. I'm like, okay. So I was
Yes.
steaming jackets and things like that because I was like, I have time to do that. Oh, we need to put
Mm.
makeup on this. We need to, like, I've done all this research on the acting part. So I know, hey, we want this
Yeah.
bigger, or we want this part, or we need to spike tape here from different things. Like, yeah, it was just a lot of
It was
support
fun.
made it so that the vision could come true for each one of us for the things we
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah. I love this collaboration. I love the trust and I love it. You guys seem like you worked really, really hard together to create something that you both really love, and I praise that a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you let everybody know the vertical name because we haven't actually said that yet?
No, we haven't. That we're queuing up for the end. We are queuing up for
Yeah.
the end. So the name of the vertical is "The Orphan Is My Fated Mate."
Mhm.
The first 5 episodes are up for you to watch for free within the vertical short contest. You can find us on Instagram, and
Yes.
you can find us on what's the other one? TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah. So hold on. What is our Instagram and TikTok as we are saying this out
I
loud?
will send them to me and I'll add them in the
Yeah.
captions.
Thank you. Thank you
Well,
so much.
the orphan is my fated mate is our Instagram.
Yes, that
That's
is the
easy.
Instagram. Yes, but I think the TikTok is under our company, so
Yeah,
you'd have to
Two
look
glasses for lenses.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the name for our company came because we were actually I think we were exhausted
We
at
were
that point.
so tired.
We were so tired. We had
Yes.
finished writing the
Dirk was in bed.
Dirk was in bed.
Yeah.
Finally, and we're like sitting there. We have our husband. Our husband.
Her husband. My husband was
We
at home.
love everything about each other.
My husband was really supportive of this, I will say, because like when we had production day, he was like, I can't go onto a set with you. I feel like it's gonna be kind of crazy. So he packed me a lunch and
That was so
Aw.
cute.
put little like I love you notes in all of my like in the sandwich and in all these. So there's all these little
Aw.
notes pulling out as I'm trying to eat.
And she's
That's
showing them
amazing.
things. I'm trying to do other things, and I'm like,
I love
cute.
that. I
But yeah,
love
we had
that.
my husband,
Yes.
and we're like, okay, help us come up with a name. And he was being really silly, and all the names were terrible. And
Oh my god.
it's so terrible.
Which is his humor. Like this
It
was
is.
not.
Yeah, no,
there
it
was
was
no malice. This was totally a funny
Yeah.
moment because he knew we were tired.
So we're like looking at each other, and we're like, wait,
We both were
two
glasses.
glasses for lenses.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome. I love that. I love that you know that kind of. That's great.
Yeah. We're two people who will go ahead and like
Yeah.
and who we always wear our glasses because we're working when we
Mm,
would hang out together, so it just made sense.
Yeah.
We're like,
So
this makes sense.
that's how it came about.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. It's so
But yes,
cool.
the name of the actual vertical is The Orphan is My Fated Mate.
Yes.
We picked all of these things with a lot in mind to really add to the werewolf lore that we're trying to build, as well as just give a lot of mystery. And even as we put suspense because we're in the suspense category, but the suspense comes from you have to really dig in to understand the whole story. And
Yes.
our trailer, everything does not tell you the story. It just like alludes to some things, and none of it is what you think. Like you
Yes.
get in, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were going
And
there.
I will say that if we get to do the next part of the story,
Well, we're gonna get to do it. It's just
yeah,
who's gonna pay for it.
Right. But like when we get to do the next part of the story, there's a couple of twists in there that
Oh, yeah.
are I cannot
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
actually just to see them come
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, we didn't.
That's
Yeah, we
amazing.
did not hit all the twists,
Yeah.
but we're excited for the next twists.
That's so cool. Well, I want to say thank you for putting your trust in me and reaching out for this interview. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you're so welcome.
Thank
Like
you so
you're doing
much.
such a great job.
Yes.
As I told you earlier, when I was researching, you came up and I watched what you had done, and I was like,
We loved it.
This is exactly where we want to be.
Yes.
We reached out, and luckily you had some time for us.
Yeah,
That's
we're the lucky
yeah,
ones.
Yeah, exactly.
When you guys contacted me, I was like, how can I fit you guys in? Because this month has been crazy. Like, I'm overwhelmed this month. Like, I mean, it's amazing, but I'm just like, when do I have time to do my schoolwork? Because I study, I'm doing a business course also. So I'm like, when do I have time to study? When do I have time for the children? And so I try to get all my interviews done like during school hours, if I
Yeah.
can. The time difference helps with that. But there are
Yes.
some times where it goes outside of that because I also try to
Yeah.
cater for, other people and things like that. So I'm just really glad that we were able to
Right,
do
we're
this.
so lucky, and I empathize with you so much.
Yeah.
And because we wear so many hats,
Yeah.
and that's the other reason why when we wanted to do this vertical, we wanted
Yeah.
to bring diversity in because
Mhm.
literally all of us are having all these roles.
Yeah, wearing as you said, wearing hats, but also taking on so many different things. And between the two of us, we were just like, we can do this together. But we can't because I think we both had in separately because we talked about it ideas of doing some sort of production type thing of
Yes.
putting on a something.
Yes.
And this was kind of the fruition of the two of us. Like we can collaborate and make this real
Yeah.
if we just like
And
have each other.
support each other in our other areas. Like
Yeah.
again, Foxy was like holding on to Dirk, entertaining him
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
I'm like, editing, while we're doing like,
Exactly.
oh wait, we have to break for 2 hours because now it's time for lunchtime or whatever.
Yeah.
And never once did Foxy say, oh, like this is like
No.
this was part of the process,
Absolutely.
supporting
Absolutely.
our lives as well as what we were doing creatively.
And we both,
Absolutely.
of both us having jobs, we also have our own deadlines. Like
Right.
we've told each other, like,
Husbands.
hey, husbands. Yeah, we both have
Not just
husbands.
one.
Yeah. But it was one of those, like, they were so supportive of, like,
Yes.
yeah, you all are going to do it. You all, this is great. We love it. And having that external support also made this possible. So not just getting an opportunity to work with you, but also just giving up some time, our people in our lives giving up time to allow us to do this. Because like I had my anniversary in the middle of this.
Yep.
I had
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. I had a big evaluation at work. You had an evaluation at work.
Yeah.
Like, aside from, also, as I often tell, I'm like, you have a whole Dirk.
Oh yeah, and I have
This is a whole Dirk. I'm like, all right, whole Dirk.
But regardless, you are doing an amazing job.
Yes, keep going, please.
And women for women. I love this. These
Yeah.
are the stories that are really like
Yeah.
true, and they warm my heart.
Yeah.
And we need to hear more of that.
Yeah.
Because we do carry so much.
Yeah.
And so kudos to us, but also to you for everything you're pursuing, for your growth, and we wish the best. And
Yeah.
we're gonna, how about we are that successful that we get to have this conversation over and over again.
I know.
I would
Over
love
again.
that. I would love that.
Yeah.
You girls are amazing, and I've had such a great time talking
Well,
with
thank
you
you.
guys today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
you so
Well,
much.
good luck. Good luck.
Yes, yes.
I'll be supporting you from afar.
Thank you. Well, that's more behind the scenes. So you can see all the cuteness that was happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, ladies, we'll end this now because we've been chatting, even though I love it, we've been chatting a while.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nope, we're at our
It's
house.
organic. I love it. But yeah. But yes, good luck. And as I said, be proud of everything that you've done so far.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. No problem.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.